when the emergency happens, it's already too late. There's nothing you can do but try to do what you can with what you have. But if you're prepared, at least you have some items that can help you get home. Hi, sweetie. So I just wanted to give a quick update. I know that I mentioned before of my bug out bag because I'm in Atlantic City and a Walmart is very close to Atlantic City. I said, why don't I create a get home bag? We're heading to Walmart so that we could create a budget friendly get home bag. So let's see what we can find. Come on, huh? So my cameraman left, but I found this fishing bag for 29.96. We're gonna keep looking to see if we find something else. So I found this venture bag for 15.49, and this looks like a pretty decent go get home bag. So I think I'm gonna grab this one instead. Better price. So I'm happen to be in the stove section, and I find myself a little stove stove with stand for 14.97, and it comes with a lot. So I think I'm gonna grab this and add it in my get home bag. I also, here in the stove section, you're gonna find your propane. So I'm gonna grab this propane here for 5.97. I'm gonna grab one. I have been procrastinating in creating a get home bag. And what is a get home bag? So the bug out bag that I had that I showed you before is for a bag for when you have an emergency in your house. Like you're at home and there's an emergency, there's a fire, you can grab your bag and go. So a get home bag is a bag for you to get home. So let's say for instance that there's a blackout, which we've had here in New York City um, many years ago in the 90s, you will need to be able to travel from wherever you are home. So that whether it be at work or at an event, but you're not close to your house. So you would want to have this bag readily available to you in the event that you have to travel home. So I would keep my bag in my car. And if you don't drive and you take public transportation, you would have this bag at your job somewhere where no one knows that you where you have it stored because you want to be able to grab it and go. Kind of like September 11, I know that that may hit you some people very hard. I know it does for me. If you were in the building and you heard the commotion happening, there were some workers that said that they were told to go get back to work. But we have to go in with our own instincts. So if you had this bag, you would have to use it to get home. So let's move on. So the reason that you have a get home bag is for you to get home in the event of emergency. And so I went to Walmart and I was able to locate and purchase this venture backpack. Okay, it's an outdoor backpack and it's a decent size. It has plenty of compartments. In the front, there's this pocket where you can store several things. You can have extra set of keys in here. You can put cash in here, whatever you decide to organize it. I haven't decided how I'm organizing this bag yet. And here you can probably put your keys in here, or your cell phone or charger, whatever. They have these. These are for you to connect some carabiners. Like maybe you want to put your first aid kit and attach it here. Right here, obviously, this is where you would put your water bottles on the side. There's two straps, which is great that you can connect two bottles of water, right? And in the huge compartment here is where you're going to store the majority of your items. Here you can fit a tablet, but remember this is for emergencies. And then the straps are really nice because they're padded and they're breathable. So that's nice. And then it has like these straps here to secure the bag. So it's a decent sized bag. It's 17 liters. It's not huge. It's only 17 liters. You're not going to be able to fit as much as you would if you were going camping, but you'll be able to fit things that you are going to need in the event of emergency. So let's start with the first thing with food. So I was able to purchase this adventure meals, which is 9.97, I believe, in Walmart. They had an array of flavors, and I just asked my boyfriend to decide which one he wanted, and he picked the lasagna and meat sauce. So he's gonna try this eventually to see how they taste. I personally have had MREs. As I mentioned before, I was in the military, and they're actually not that bad. The MREs are better because they come with a self heater, so you wouldn't have to worry about buying these kitchen items that I'm going to go into next. So we have our food, and we have where we would serve ourselves, right? So this I was able to purchase for about $5 for 2 plates, and they are bowls. So these are nice, right? And they collapse and they fit perfectly in your bag. And then I just bought one set of utensils, a fork, knife, and spoon. If it's two people, somebody can eat with a fork, the other one can eat with a spoon. It's an emergency. So we're not worried about being classy, right? And this is a 4-in-1 stove with stand. So this I'm not going to open yet. Maybe I will explain it later on in a different video, but it's a stove. But for you to use it, you will need your propane tank. So I purchased a small one, and I believe this was $5. Um, and in talking about prices, all of these items came out to a total of $160. And honestly, this is at a bargain because if you go to Target, it's going to be way more. This would be maybe $300. But at Walmart, I was able to find a lot of these items really cheap, and I know the prices because I know I've seen some of these items in a Target and even on Amazon. Amazon, some of these items are more expensive, like this fire starter, but we're gonna get there soon. So let's finish up with the food. So we mentioned we have the stove, and then I bought this mess kit. It has 5 pieces, right? It comes with the frying pan, plate, a 7-ounce cap, lid, and a quart pot, right? I didn't read that it comes with a plate. I would have just purchased this and not these 2 pans because remember this bag is just for one person. So I think I might return that, but we shall see because I haven't put everything in the bag yet. So we have our kitchen items. We're gonna put that away. Let me just put that over here so we can make sure we. Okay, so we have our food, right? I didn't get a water bottle because I didn't want to spend money on a water bottle that I knew I didn't want to add to this go bag because the reason I didn't pick a plastic water bottle was because not only because of the BPA, but I can't use that other than collecting water. And I would like my water bottle to be completely stainless steel because then I can use it to cook on. I necessarily don't need this. If I am able to purchase another stainless steel water bottle, which I do have in my bug out bag, I will use that. I will purchase that and return this because with that water bottle, I can actually put it on the fire. The stainless steel. It's completely stainless steel, even the lid. Walmart had some stainless steel water bottles, but they had plastic underneath, and some of them had plastic as the lid. So I don't want to use plastic water bottle because I want it to be multi-purpose. So I can be able to carry less, but be able to do more with items that I have. So that is the reason that I didn't purchase the water bottle. You could, and this probably would have came out to maybe 170, but I said I want to just not do that. And even this mess kit is very useful for one person traveling, but this is just for an emergency purpose. So we have the kitchen items over here done. Oh, I also picked up this pocket knife. This pocket knife is good for many uses, right? I'm not using this as a defense because I do not have skills in knife fighting. Because if you do not, if you're not professional, if you don't know how to use a knife to defend yourself, the other person that's trying to attack you or hurt you can use the knife against you. So this is not used for defense purposes. This is used to open cans. Perhaps maybe I find canned goods. I know how to open a can with a knife. If you do not know how to open a can with a knife, don't try it because you will injure yourself. But I know how to do that, so that's why I purchased it. In addition to, you want to have some cord, right? You want to have um rope in your bags because you can use this for many things. To use a poncho or garbage bag to use like as a shelter. There's just many reasons. I'll look for video and I'll link it down below. But there's many reasons why you want to have cord in your bag, and this knife can help with cutting that. So let's put that over here because we discussed. Okay. Gloves. You're gonna want to use this. You might have to move some fallen trees or something. I don't know. Like you're gonna want to have something to protect your hands, especially if you're using a knife. And if you don't know how to use the knife, you're gonna want to protect your hands in the event that you have to cut something. So just for protective purposes, you want to have a pair of gloves, right? All right. So here we have a poncho. This one was 197. These are good because they're small and they fit anywhere and you can grab it and throw it on and you'll be okay. But this is just, I wanted to save money. So this is something to always have, but it's always good to have heavy duty garbage bags. And that's something that I forgot to pick up. All right, so let's move on to, let me just finish up here with fire, right? So I didn't find the lighters. I honestly could not find it, but I do have fire storm proof matches. This is windproof and waterproof. So I'm not gonna turn it on now. I probably will clip in a video of me using it later because I'm inside of a hotel room. But this is great to have because it's windproof and waterproof. And you know those matches that you don't have are not good. And I think I only paid $5 for this, which is pretty good because I think Amazon has it for 10. You want to have like a small can of a fire extinguisher. You never know, you have to put out a fire. This is always good to have. And I didn't notice though when I arrived here that it was cracked, so I'm gonna have to go back and exchange it. Um Zip ties. Zip ties are really good to have to just be able to store things. You might be able to find something to connect here to these straps on your bag. You want to connect maybe some material that you have or that you find, or maybe your jacket and it doesn't fit in your bag. You can just use this for many reasons. I'll also look for video for how you can use these zip ties in different ways. These are very important, especially if you get stranded. Like this go get home bag is also useful because if your car breaks down in the highway, and we've seen that in the news where cars have been stranded in the road during the winter time and people have died in their vehicles because they didn't have this bag. So you want to have some hand warmers because you can put those in your chest, put them in your chest. You can put them in your shoes. They'll keep you warm. Put them under your arms. Hand warmers will go a long way. Okay. Light. These are awesome. These are the only lights that we use when we go camping, plus a lantern. But these are the best because they're a headlamp and they allow you to have your hands free, right? You need your hands to be able to do things with, right? Let's say you have a cut, like you cut yourself, you walking on the road and there's like a piece of metal and you cut your leg. Now you have to hold the flashlight and get your first aid kit, because that's the next right here. You get your first aid kit, open it up, and it is dark, right? So you one hand to open it up to address the wound. It doesn't make sense. So with a headlamp, your hands are going to be free. You're going to be able to address whatever issues you need with both hands. So moving on to the next thing that I mentioned was the first aid kit. This was $20. And they had cheaper versions. They had one that was like $15. They had like the travel ones that are like $2 and they only have band-aids. But you want to pack a really good, decent first aid kit, right? Because you want to be able to address different types of wounds. And this one has the majority of the items that you're going to need. So this is the one that I would recommend. They have another brand that has 200 pieces, but the reason it's 200 pieces because they add way more bandages. But this one has all the necessities that you need, such as scissors, ice pack, ointment. And what I really like is that it has alcohol pads, because a lot of the first aid kits now do not have alcohol pads. So you have to check that because you have to clean the wound before you dress it, right? So a first aid kit is very necessary. Okay, now let's move on to hygiene. So, depending on how far you're going, depending on how far you live, it might take you a couple of hours to get home, but it might take you a day or two. So, you're gonna want to keep clean, right? So you're gonna want to pack yourself some wet ones and flushable wipes, right? The wet ones are antibacterial, so they'll help with cleaning the germs off your hands if you don't have water, access to water before you cook your food, right? Before you eat, before you do anything. This will be great to clean your hands. And you're going to want to have some wipes. These you can use to clean yourself. This is going to be your bath and your toilet. So these are perfect because they're multi use, right? Wash your face with it, wash your body and your private parts with it. And also when you use the bathroom. And they're flushable. So they're biodegradable. So keeping the earth clean and helping the earth. You're gonna want to have these toothbrush. I know you guys have seen it in the travel aisle when you go to Dwayne Reed, Rite Aid, to your pharmacy. These are great because it comes with your toothbrush, it comes with toothpaste, and also a toothbrush cover. So this is perfect. You can just leave it in here. Leave your toothbrush and your toothpaste right in this container and put it in the bag. Then you're going to want to get your Listerine because you want to brush and then rinse because this will help to prevent cavities. And you don't want to have cavities if there's something that happens where you can't go to a dentist for a couple of weeks. And then your deodorant. These are very inexpensive. They're cheap. If you don't wear deodorant, that's great. But if you do, just carry some. You want to feel clean, right? And your Lysol. I purchased this actually because I usually carry this with me when I go to this casino, and when I check my bag, I forgot to pack it or I ran out. Usually, it's always in my bag. So Lysol is good to sanitize areas if you choose to. And the last item from the first aid kit is the blood stop. So stop bleeding in seconds. So this is for minor cuts to large bleeding wounds, right? You want to stop the bleeding and you're far from the hospital, but you're bleeding a lot, you're going to want to have this in your bag. So that is the total of the items that I purchased. I did not, there are still some items that I needed to get, which was like the water bottle, and I couldn't find a tent or a sleeping bag that was suitable for me. They did have a sleeping bag that would have fit in this bag, but it was only for 50 degrees. That is not warm enough. You have to think that if you have to sleep outdoors while in your way to get home, 50 degrees is not going to keep you warm. It's something, which is true. I probably should have just gotten it because it's something is better than nothing, right? Because hmm, now that I think about it, I probably should have gotten it. But I'm gonna see if I could check online if I could find something cheaper and for a lower temperature, at minimum 20 degrees Fahrenheit. But something's better than nothing. So if I don't find it and I have to return anything from this package, I'm gonna start packing this to see if it fits, and then I'll make the decision whether I want to purchase it online. But this is your get home bag. So these are items that you should have. You should have this just in case of an emergency. But you really need to get your water bottle. You should always make sure that this is a fire extinguisher. So this, remember that this can't stay in your car for more than 120 degrees because it will explode. So you want to keep an eye on that. Um, and just being prepared for an emergency is very useful because you never know when the emergency strike, right? Because when the emergency happens, it's already too late. There's nothing you can do but try to do what you can with what you have. But if you're prepared, at least you have some items that can help you get home. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below and stay tuned for my coaching Mondays and my recipes on Sundays. And always remember, sweeties, be real, not perfect. Bye.